Okay, I want to talk a little bit about what it's like to take an online course, specifically what it's like to take engineering analysis online, and just go over a few things that seem to be perpetual misunderstandings or issues with the class. So, first, a little bit about me. My name is Mary Baker. I'm a professor in electrical and computer engineering. My office is in room 209 and my lab is in room 124. Often, when I am at campus, I'm in my lab, room 124, instead of my office. So, my campus hours tend to be more in the mornings. My research area is in biomedical signal processing, specifically neuroimaging, looking at data fusion of different types of neuroimaging data, looking at different kinds of biomedical signals and extracting information out of those, as well as looking at data-driven models of cognition and disease. So a little bit about this online course. In this particular semester, the course is arranged in modules, and the modules generally take up 1 week. Occasionally, I will have a module that is a 2-week module, but as a general rule, they're 1-week modules. I usually release 2 to 3 of these at a time. So on the first day of class, your first 2 to 3 modules will be ready. I tend to do this in terms of subject area. So for example, when we cover differential equations, the 3 to 4 modules on differential equations will be released either all at the same time or within a couple of days of one another. So you'll have weeks 1 through 3 available on the first class day, and you'll also be able to access the homework, the quizzes, the video links, etc., mostly on the first day of class. Some of these modules also include some supplementary materials. Usually those are web links or just additional information that I find useful that I post. However, not all modules will include all types of materials. So we may have a module that does not include a quiz. We may have a module that does not include a homework assignment but does include a quiz. So the homework and quizzes are located in the module folders, and the module folders will be in the main course homepage. So it's important to look through the module folders to find out which ones contain homework assignments, which ones contain quizzes, etc. So there are some very good things about taking an online class. Unlike a live course where you're sitting in class and often taking notes, in an online course you have videos. You can watch those videos at any time. You can watch them as many times as you wish. You can watch them in your pajamas. So good things about that. What you miss is you miss the live interaction during a lecture. So if I were lecturing to you live, you'd be able to stop me in the middle of a lecture, ask me a question to clarify something. When watching videos, you can't really do that. So my suggestion to you is when watching the videos, if you'll keep a notepad handy, and then you can jot down questions on your notepad and email me those questions. Or if people request it, I can post discussion boards and you can post questions to a discussion board, and that way your classmates can see your questions and my answers, so we don't have a lot of repetitive questions, and also because sometimes other people will think of things that you don't think of. So it enhances learning, I think, to have working discussion boards. You can take as long as you want on the homework problems. This doesn't mean you can turn them in anytime you want. It means there's no time limit. Once you start a homework assignment, there's no time limit on submitting the answer. They do, however, have to be submitted by the due date. If homework is not submitted at exactly the due date and the time, then the homework grade is automatically reduced by 50%, and this is done on the system automatically. I should point out that the system that does the homework, my recollection is it operates on Eastern Standard Time. So if you have a homework due time of 11:45 p.m., then in Texas that is 10:45 p.m. So this is going to be in Eastern Standard Time. This allows for people to take the course all over the world and for the due date to be the same for everyone because it's based to a common time. So there is going to be some element of self-pacing in the course because the modules will generally be released as a group of modules. Um, and the entire course will be available long before the end of the semester. So what are some of the challenging aspects of online courses? So I've taught this course online 3 times now, so I have a little bit of experience with regard to this particular course of what some of the problems are and what some of the challenges are. So the first thing is you have to check the modules, the calendar, and the other class resources to stay on top of deadlines. You're not going to see me in class. I'm not going to be able to remind you face to face of when the deadlines are. So telling me, oh, I didn't look at the calendar, or oh, you usually have things due on Friday and this was due on Thursday, that's not an excuse. Okay, you'll need to check the site regularly. Now, once I post deadlines, I don't bump them up. I rarely extend a deadline, but if I ever do change a deadline, it'll be to extend it, not to shorten it. So not being aware of deadlines is not an excuse for missing an assignment, and you not being aware of deadlines is not a reason that I will extend a deadline ever. The only reason I will possibly extend a deadline is if the Wiley system, which is the system we use for online homework, or the Blackboard system is down for an extended period of time, and those are all documented timestamp episodes. So if the university tells me Blackboard was down for a week, then I'll go in and extend a deadline. You're also responsible for checking your email on a regular basis. If I have something important to communicate to you, I will communicate that via email, and I'll communicate it via the email that's linked through the Texas Tech system. So if you normally check your Gmail and you don't check your Texas Tech mail, that is not my issue. You must check your email if you want to get important updates or announcements from me. If there's an emergency or something like that, or if, for example, let's say there's a test question that didn't get coded right, and I need to give you some instructions on a specific question or a specific assignment, that will come via email. So very important to check your email. So if you're irresponsible and don't check your email, or you miss an email from me, that's not an excuse. So you just need to get in the habit right now. If you're going to take an online course, you will need to check Blackboard and you will need to check your email on a daily basis. You're also responsible for obtaining access to Wiley Plus. So the publisher of the textbook, Advanced Engineering Mathematics, is Wiley. They have a system called Wiley Plus that allows us to do online homework and online tests. If this system were not available, I would not be able to offer this course online. So the only way that we can, with this class, do the section online is to do that through Wiley Plus. It's not a perfect system, but it is by far the best that I've worked with, and I've worked with several different publisher systems. So let me say right up front, there is no free access option. So if you're going to sign up for an online course and take an online course, you will have to pay for Wiley Plus. The way you do this is you go onto the Blackboard site and you click on one of the Wiley Plus links. This can be a homework assignment, it can be a reading assignment. When you do that, it's going to take you to a link to sign up, and that's going to be the specific link for this class. So if you try to go to Wiley's website and you try to purchase and pay for Wiley Plus access, chances are you'll be purchasing and paying for something that's not linked to this specific class. And if you do that, there's nothing I can do to help you. So you'll have to work that out with Wiley. So if you will just follow the directions and get to Wiley Plus from the Blackboard site for this specific class, you won't have this problem. Let's see. Finally, you are responsible for having a good internet connection and using a good web browser. I can't tell you how many times I have people contact me and say, oh, I accidentally opened a quiz and I wasn't ready to take it. Here's the deal. I don't know if you opened the quiz, discovered you didn't know the material, and shut the quiz down and then sent me this email to hopefully get a chance to study some more, or if you really did accidentally open the quiz. So Because of that, I can't reset quizzes ever because of the issues with academic dishonesty. So don't open a quiz until you're really ready to take the quiz. The homework is a little bit different. You'll get multiple opportunities on the homework to answer questions, and you can like save your work and get out and then come back and restart. With the quizzes, once you start a quiz, you must finish the quiz. There's only one opportunity to submit an answer. So if you start a quiz, you will have to complete the entire quiz. You will not get multiple chances to answer. It's a single answer. In my experience, Explorer, Firefox, and Safari all seem to work well. I have had people who have had issues with Chrome, and I don't know if it's a specific version of Chrome, but I do know that people have had issues with Chrome. Both Blackboard and Wiley will have instructions and tutorials with regard to browser support, how to enter answers, how to navigate through the system, and so on. It's really important that you look over these if you don't know what you're doing and you've never used the system before. Most of you have not. Um, Blackboard has, when in certain cases where you have to enter an equation as an answer, Blackboard has an equation template. It's important that you go through the Blackboard tutorials if you've never used that before, because while I think it's intuitive, I've had a couple of people who didn't find it intuitive. Okay, grading. So almost all the people who make a B or C in this class make a B or C because they missed deadlines, they didn't do their work, they didn't watch their videos, they didn't check their email, or other similar kinds of issues. The work in this class is primarily a review of high-level undergraduate engineering mathematics with a few special topics thrown in. So if you're working full-time, if you're expecting the birth of a child, if your wife's expecting the birth of a child, if you're in the middle of a life crisis, whatever, this is probably not the time to take a challenging online course. Unlike a face-to-face course, you have the choice on when to start and stop your exams and quizzes and when to do your homework. You do get grade feedback immediately because of the way the course is set up, with the exception of a couple of the quizzes and assignments that aren't linked to Wiley. But there are times in life, when it's just not a good time to try to take an advanced mathematics course. And if this is the time for you, then you need to consider whether or not this is a good idea this semester. If you're the kind of person who forgets to check your email, who isn't very good at time management, maybe you do better off in a face-to-face section, and that is offered at least once a year, and I think it's offered in the spring. Finally, I don't negotiate grades. I work on a point-based system, and so basically throughout the semester we collect points. If you do the work and you do it correctly and you submit it on time, then you'll get a lot of points. If you don't do the work, or you do all the work incorrectly and you submit it all late, then you won't get as many points. So that's I try to be as objective as possible in grade assignment. If you truly believe that you've been graded incorrectly, you have the option to file a grade appeal through the university. But do not send me sad text messages, gripey emails, etc., trying to justify why you think you deserve a better grade than what you've been given, because I can't make subjective decisions like that. I have to be fair to everyone. And so because of that, it's a point-based grading system, and your grade is based on the number of points you accumulate. Specifics on the grading system are given in the syllabus, so I encourage you all to read and check the syllabus. So that's about it as far as just things, and these are things that I've just observed through the last 3 semesters that have given people issues in the course, and have made people upset and created anxiety. So I think if you will take care of these things early in the semester and just stay on top of things like deadlines and be sure that your high-speed internet connection's working and you have a reliable system. I will say that if in the middle of a quiz or an exam Wiley Plus goes down for whatever reason, they keep a record of that. So I will be able to document if you claim you're in the middle of an exam and the Wiley Plus system freezes. I'll be able to document that because I can see that when I go in as an administrator on the system. So those kinds of things are documented by the system, and the system will allow me to circumvent or reset in that case. But I can't base that on your word. I have to base that on Wiley Plus and Blackboard's internal diagnostics. All right, so thank you for listening, and I hope you have a great semester. And feel free to email me if you have any questions or any issues with the course at all.